Hi, good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm Sophie again.
And I'm Serena.
So tonight...
Sorry, Sophie, go ahead.
Sorry. So tonight we are in conversation with Joel, Jordan and Ross from the Jamaican Rugby League Team. So we're going to be, again, the same theme as last week, looking at where they're from, talking to them a little bit about their heritage, and finding out more about rugby and what's going to happen.
So, what I realised, Sophie, a couple of months ago was that Huddersfield is the home of rugby league. I didn't have a clue about that. Did you?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
But I can tell we've got some sound. Can you hear it? Is there some interference?
Yeah, I can hear it. I can hear that.
Let's see where that's coming from.
Has it gone?
No, I can still hear it. It someone? Has someone got another device at the side of them?
No.
Let me just check if it's you, Serena. It's gone now, hasn't it, boys? No, it hasn't. It's back.
Don't know what it is.
Has it gone now? Anyway, let's just move on. So
yeah, let's just.
Guys, do you want to tell us more about yourselves? So obviously I've put the order wrong and I've put Joel first. So Joel, do you want to tell us a little bit about you? Who you are, where you're from, where you grew up?
I'm Joel Farrell. I played rugby at Newsham Panthers since I was 5. I'm from Newsham and went to Newsham High School.
Okay. Jordan, we'll go to the one in the middle.
I'm Jordan Andrade. Grew up in Dalton in Huddersfield. Went to King James's High School. Also played amateur and child rugby up at Newsham Panthers.
Okay. And Ross?
I'm Ross Peltier. I'm from Bradford. Lived in Bradford a long time, but my mum's lived in Fartown and Deaton since I was around 13 years old. So I've been around, Fartown and Deaton for all my teenage years. And I used to play rugby for Giants as well. So yeah, I have connections with Huddersfield as well.
Okay. So can I ask, what were your experiences growing up in Huddersfield? Have you got any good memories that come to mind?
I love Huddersfield.
Playing rugby with the boys and stuff. It's a good place to grow up.
Okay. Where did you used to hang out?
I like Huddersfield. I think it's got a really good multicultural kind of atmosphere. Growing up really good. And I think as a town, it's got a bit of everything. Like, you've got a decent town centre, then 5 minutes drive any direction, and you've got countryside as well. So it's got a bit of everything. I'm really loyal to Huddersfield.
Okay, great. What about you, Ross? What was it like for you?
For me, I've always been like coming to Huddersfield because my dad used to work in Huddersfield for Huddersfield Pride, and like he was a project manager for all the regeneration up in Dalton and that, with the built drum centre and everything. Like, so my dad, he was like one of the managers of that. So I've always been coming to Huddersfield since I was a kid, So I've got fond memories of Huddersfield. And just. Yeah, obviously since 13 years old, my mum's lived here, so I've had a few friends. I've been friends with Faz from years. I've known Jordan years, so through rugby and everything, I've always been connected and known everyone over there. And from going out over there to everything. So yeah, and I like Huddersfield, man. It's a good place, man.
Okay, so Jordan, I'm gonna point this question at you.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so you are a Dalton guy who went to King James's.
Yeah.
Tell me, did you fit in there? How did you? Because I know they don't have a lot of people who are brown skin. So how did you find it going to school there?
I think for me, I went to Rawthorpe Junior School. So I went from Rawthorpe Junior School, which is probably 50-50 mixed race, black, Asian, and white. So I think there was 2 or 3 kids in my year who went straight from that school to King James's. other two were white girls. So I'd gone there, and like you say, there might have been 7 or 8 black people in my year. 10, maybe say 10, but I suppose at the time I never even really thought twice about it because growing up it was never a thing. Race, I never saw race. I never saw anyone never kind of disliked me or anything. And I'm quite a loud, outgoing person, so straight away kind of got in with a good group of friends up there. So according to the race and that, I never really had any kind of issues with it, or I never really understood it, I suppose. Apart from all my mates were white. I've gone from all my mates being brown to all my mates being white, really.
Okay. What about you, Mr. Newsom boy? How did you find it? Because obviously Newsom's quite multicultural, isn't it?
Yeah. With race and stuff, I think in school it wasn't an issue ever. There was black people, white people, mixed race people, Asian people. Yeah, Newsom's a bit of a mad spot. It's just everyone's friends with everyone. Everyone gets on. No one sees it really because it's just that mixed and diverse. I enjoyed it up there.
Okay. So Ross, did you spend any of your school life in Kirklees, or did you go back to Bradford?
No, yeah, because I was a bit naughty when I was a young kid. My mum said stay with my dad for the discipline, didn't it? Stay living with my dad and my brother for the discipline. So I spent all my school life in Bradford. In schools when I was in Bradford. Yeah. So for that side, I stayed in Bradford for that.
Okay.
I've got a question, Sophie. I want to know, how did you get involved in rugby? Like, when did that start? So I'll go to Joel first.
I've always been involved in rugby since being a little kid. My dad's job, he was a full-time professional rugby player. So from being born, I've always wanted to play rugby. It's all I've ever wanted to do, really. So at the age of 5, I think it was, I went to News and Panthers, started playing up there, and the rest is history, really. Just never been able to get rid of it.
Okay. What about you, Jordan?
So for me, I probably went down the same route as most rugby players. Tried to play football. I wasn't very good at it as a kid. I realised that I weighed far too much to be playing football. So next, the natural progression then is just to go play rugby as a little chubby lad, and then hope something comes of it. And luckily, I've not done too badly in like the later stages of my life. Well, my rugby life, not my actual life, I hope.
What about you, Ross?
Yeah, I'm a bit different. Like, my family are all footballers. Like, my dad played. My dad and my uncles played semi-professional, professional football, and my brother used to play for Man City and stuff. One of my cousins played for Huddersfield Town, Liverpool and stuff. So it's like I've always seen football, and I wanted to be a footballer. All up until the age I think I was 12. Like I say, I was a bit of an idiot as a kid. I got banned from football for a few months for fighting. So my dad said, why don't you try to play rugby? You never know, you're that big, you might be good at it. And within like my first season, I signed on scholarship at Bradford. I thought actually I'm quite good at it, so I stuck at playing football. I stuck at playing rugby since about 12-year-old. Yeah, so I've really found it by accident, but it's probably the best thing I've done, really. Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, how did the Jamaican Rugby Team come about? Because it's a bit like when you think of the Jamaica Rugby Team, do you know what comes to mind for me? Cool Runnings and the bobsleigh team. Like, how did that come about?
It's like I think if I'm going back, if I'm going back in my mind, there was a guy called, I think it was Dane Campbell, I think, an English guy, and he went over to Jamaica, and he would have really introduced, the people running now, Romeo and Roy and all these pioneers. I think he introduced it to them must have been about 14, maybe 15 years ago. He introduced it to them, and I think I got invited to go down. I think it was like 2009. I went and played like a nines tournament in Gloucester. because, you know, they thought, you know what, there's a lot of Jamaican lads in England who play rugby. You know, they enjoyed playing rugby and watching it. They said maybe we could get a heritage team, because I think years ago there was a West Indies team. Years ago, they tried to do a West Indies team, but that didn't work out. And I think, you know, Romeo and Roy, you know, they took it on themselves to say, you know what, let's try it with Jamaica and try get all the boys in England and try build a game in Jamaica. And yeah, I think they played the first game in Florida. I think it was like 2010. I was too young to go then, so I didn't even go to that one. And in 2011, we went to his first World Cup qualifiers. But I think for me, from when I went to them World Cup qualifiers in 2011, and, you know, to see where we are now, obviously qualified for World Cup, the biggest change is Jamaica's domestic game. It's like in a lot of schools now, a lot of universities now, and colleges, which is, you know, testament to all them over there, what they've built the game from, you know, grassroots up. You know, they haven't looked at, oh, let's just get English players to play for us and that's it. They've tried to build the game over there, and, you know, it's credit to Roy and Romeo really for what they've achieved, because I think they just had an idea to try start a Jamaica Rugby Team, and it's blown up now, and it's getting bigger and bigger every year, man.
Wow. Jordan, how did you get involved?
I'd signed at Salford, and I was playing there, and I'd just come off the back of a season there. Not well, I say playing, I was signed there, I wasn't playing. And then I got released from Salford, and obviously I was good. I've known Ross Peltier for years, just like for rugby and stuff like that. And I think it was Ross who actually told me about it. And we went down, and my first game, I think it was 2016 Ireland. 2016, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so went over to Ireland and played over there. Long weekends. Obviously, not much funding from as an organisation and stuff, but we went over there and we went and beat Ireland. And then we came back, and I think it was 2 weeks later we had a game against Wales, and we drew with Wales. And ever since then, really, so what's that, 5-6 years ago, I've been involved, really.
Wow, I didn't know it was going on for so long. What about you, Joel? How did you get involved?
Well, I got bullied into it, really, to playing. I was going to go play for Scotland myself. My grandma's from Scotland, but then I've been mates with Ross for years and a lot of the boys for years. So I didn't have a choice. Everyone hounded me, and I'm straight in with these boys now. But yeah, definitely a good idea. Good decision, because I've loved it ever since.
So, on to that. I want to know, where are your families from in Jamaica? Jordan?
So, like, I get a lot of stick. Obviously, my last name is Peltier. So everyone calls me Dominican, and I'm from Bradford. And, you know, my dad's side of my family is a big Dominican family, so everyone says, "Yo, you're Dominican, you're not Jamaican," and everything. But nah, my mum's mum and dad are from St. Mary, so, you know, my mum moved back there when she was born, and she lived there till she was like, I think she was like 8 or 9 when she come back to England. So, you know, I've my grandma and granddad from St. Mary, so, you know, I've been back. I think I've been back about twice before they died, and went and stayed there. So yeah, my family from St. Mary, but even though everyone thinks I'm Dominican, but yeah, I'm Jamaican.
Jordan?
So my grandma, I don't even know what the area is called, but I've been years ago. But I've got a lot of family who live in Kingston as well. Listen, don't give me that look. Don't give me that look. So again, yeah, I'm not as well cultured like Ross. You see, I'm new to the culture, so I'm learning as well. But because my dad was born in England, but my dad's a very, very English white black man. So that's to be totally fair, and he'll probably be watching now laughing because he is. But it is something I'm learning. I've been to Jamaica, and obviously like went to Kingston and that. And I've got a lot of family who live in Kingston, so I've been and visited. But exactly in the sticks, I don't know where it was, what area it was, but it was somewhere in the sticks.
All right.
Listen,
Okay.
it all looks the same when you're in the bush, so even I don't know where I'm going sometimes. So, Joel.
Joel.
My nana is the Jamaican one. She's from Montego Bay.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty nice
Have you
place.
been?
I went when I was younger. Yeah, I went when I was younger. Pretty good. Went for 2 weeks. Stayed out there. Loved the place.
Okay.
Can I ask?
Go
Sorry,
on.
I was going to ask, what is your favourite Jamaican dish, food?
Goat.
Do you know what it is, yeah? I remember when we were playing that England Knights game, right? Joel's grandma's from Leeds, so we were staying in Leeds. And Joel went, right, I'm going to go to my grandma's, going to have some food, right? And I swear to God, it's the nicest Jamaican food I have ever. And I've had a lot of Jamaican food. And that there, whatever we had. And there were only 3 of us. So there were me, Joel, and a lad called John Maglan, who were there. And how much did she make, Joel, man?
There was enough for the whole team out there.
About an hour.
Could have eaten.
And we still took trays home.
What was it?
Also, there was
Everything, whatever you could think of.
curry goat, there were brown stew chicken,
Mm-hmm.
there were every kind of dumpling, rice and peas. Oh man, it was it was a buffet for 3 of us. And
You
got
lot
like,
of
you didn't eat anything.
I bet you ate it all though, didn't you? You just took
Oh, it
it.
was all gone, and then we took some back from out later as well.
You know that hard food's good for your physique as well, you know, that food. Very good for you.
Saturday soup for the woman. You can't beat Saturday soup. That's the baddest for me.
Don't feel good when you're running around at rugby.
So,
Nah, where's your
can you
down?
cook?
It's the woman.
Can I cook?
Can you lot cook? You like to eat, but
Yeah,
can you cook?
I can cook.
What's your best dish then, Jordan?
I take stick in the group. Ross hammers me for my cooking in the group, but I try my best.
What do you cook?
Well, I made curry goat 2 months ago for like my fiance. My fiance is white and she's got a white family, so we went away with their family. So we had like a Jamaica themed night when we were away, played like reggae music and stuff, and so I went all out and I took a picture to show up boys because I was buzzing about it, and then Ross just started picking my curry goat apart.
Yeah.
I tried my best.
What was wrong with it, Ross?
It was still raw.
The colour and everything went right, man, and just a few things, it don't look right. It didn't look right, man.
You
would have still eaten it.
Listen, do you know it's curry goat? I don't even bother cooking it because it's disappointment in it. If it don't taste like my mum, so I don't even bother.
But he tried. He tried.
Yeah, he tried.
You tried, Jordan.
I tried my
I
best.
give you props. You tried.
Ross
needs to move.
I had it with some
you just got stick in it.
That's a joke, man. Out there, I'm joking.
Talking about.
Well, Joel sat here quiet. No. Joel sat here quiet. We don't know whether he can cook yet.
No, I just eat. That's it. I don't do cooking.
Yeah, you can't cook.
Nah, I do hot noodles and that's about it.
Since we are talking about the culture, I wanted to know, do you have any favourite Jamaican artists?
Listen,
Music artists.
if I had to list, like, I got too many. Like, I got a big collection. Me, to be fair, like, there's two. Like, I sat next to my vinyl playing everything. Look, I got all the. I've been passed down from generation to generation, innit? So, but now, if I had one favorite, I'd say Burning Spear for me. So that's for me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's for me. Yeah.
Wow. What about you, Jordan?
Oh, see, man, we asking me this question for no. I love. No, I do love. I like Vibes Cartel.
Okay.
I like Vibes Cartel. If I'm gonna say Jamaican, but then again, obviously you can't go wrong. And I know it's a stereotype, but Bob Marley, like back in the day,
Yeah,
I think Redemption Song's one of my favourite songs of all time.
Yes.
So although it's a cliche, you can't even go wrong with some Bob Marley, can you really?
Yeah. Joel?
Yeah, a bit of Vibes, Buju and Bob Marley, really. They're the ones on repeat.
Yeah.
Oh wow, fantastic. So, tell me, what are your biggest achievements today? What are you proud of? And that can be in your career, your personal life. Gonna start, Jordan.
I think for me, probably becoming a dad. So I think, obviously, I've got a little boy who's 16 months now, but my missus is pregnant now at the moment. So
wow.
So I'm gonna have two kids under 2. So sleep is a myth. But I think it's massively grown me up. I suppose for a few years and that my life, I didn't really know which direction I wanted to go in, and obviously there's nothing wrong with being like that, because you have to kind of find yourself. And I think having a child has grounded me massively and made me realise that going out every weekend and coming in and not coming in and doing all that, it's not always cracked up to be. But sometimes they're boring nights where you're just watching a film, or they're boring nights where you've not slept all night. That's about being a man, I think, a little bit. So again, another cliche, but I think being a dad, that's probably off the field. I think rugby field, the proudest I've ever felt was probably that night when we played England Knights. When we all came together at the end, and there was felt a lot of emotion. We all put our bodies on line. We ended up getting beaten, but we didn't feel like we'd lost at the end of it. We played in front of 8,000 or 9,000 people. 90% of fans were on Jamaican backs. Even the English fans wanted us to do well. So obviously,
I was there.
That's probably the proudest I've felt rugby-wise. But off the field, definitely being a dad.
It's the best feeling ever, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like before being a dad. Like, someone had shown me a picture of the kid, and it's like, I'm not even bothered. Now I'm like, I'm on a night out, whatever. I'm out on a pub, or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, show me your kids. Like, I genuinely want to see your kids.
You're gonna love having 2 nearing the same age. I have twins, and it's eventful.
Yeah,
but you know what? You'll love every minute, and as much as you think you're going to be tired, you find that energy from somewhere.
Yeah, of course you do.
It's exciting. Who's going next?
Yeah, I'm probably the same as Jordan. Me, probably my son. Be one of my biggest achievements. I'm same as Jordan. I've got another one landing. I've got a 2-year-old, and I've got another one due in March as well. So them lockdown babies.
We can breed us, man.
Lockdown.
We can breed us, man. Too much madness.
No names of COVID, you know.
Yeah. apart from my son and the one on the way, probably when we qualified for the World Cup, when we beat America, that was the most emotional time I've ever felt playing a game of rugby. Cried my eyes out. There was just about 20-25 man all on the field crying. Just because it's been, I've been there. Faz were there the ones before when we lost. I was there the ones before that in 2010 or 2011 when we lost to America. And it's always been us or America. Whoever wins goes to a World Cup, and I've felt that loss twice. And on the third time for us to finally do it, in Jacksonville, it was just it was a special time. It was a special night. I remember Faz, we found a reggae and dancehall club in Jacksonville. So we found it, and we was in there till about, I think, as flight up. We had to drive to Orlando at 12. I think Usman walked out the club at like 10, and we was walking back to the hotel at like 10 in the morning. We celebrated hard that night, to be fair. But that whole getting Jamaica to a World Cup, I think it was massive, because for what it did for everybody, that was the best achievement for me.
Last but not least, Joel, what's yours?
I think the thing I'm most proud of in general life is the person that I've ended up being. Before I was a bit of a madman, a bit wild, even with rugby stuff, just wild on the field. I think I've since lockdown, I've took a step back. Life slowed down a lot. I feel like I've more matured more in lockdown than I ever before. I've started doing some charity work and stuff like that. I have a page on Instagram, wildminds.uk, that I've started
Okay.
doing loads of trying to get people outside to clear their own mental space, feel more relaxed, and all stuff like that. And rugby-wise, I got two. We played at Wembley last year with Sheffield, and we won down there in a cup final, which is a massive, massive achievement for us when no one really gave us the chance of winning it. And the Jamaica one when we qualified, like same as Ross, it's the maddest emotion I've ever felt in a game of rugby league. Like the game finished. I'd just come off at the end because my legs wouldn't carry me no more. I'd run too much. I had no left in tank. The final whistle went, ran upfield. I seen Alex Brown look straight at him, just bawling his eyes out. Then just looking at him bawling his eyes out, made me bawl my eyes out. And everyone was just bawling their eyes out. It was just the maddest rush of emotions I've ever had in a rugby field. I've never been as proud as something like that in my life.
And we're so proud of you boys. Honestly, I shout all the time. All I've been saying is I'm Jamaican and look, they're coming. I can't wait. Honestly, COVID needs to go away so we can scream and shout next year because I'm ready for this World Cup.
And do you know what I find so fantastic is there's so many people that are not engaged by rugby. And I know when you had that match at Headingley against England Knights, yeah, there were people there that have never been to a rugby game before. That was the first time I had been to a rugby game ever. And I kind of learned on YouTube like 2 nights before, watching on YouTube what the rules were and everything, just so I could get the game. But I think seeing Jamaica there representing, for me, it was so important. And I think representation is so important in terms of your interest and it's very inspiring as well.
I think that's at the moment that's kind of where we're trying to tap into. So if we're based in Headingley, the amount of West Indian people, not just Jamaican, because we'll have all the West Indies behind us when it comes to it. Because at the end of the day, the Caribbean were as one in this country. They've all come over together, regardless of what island you're on. So we'll come here, and there's all that untapped sauces, and there'll be the steel pans there, and the colours, and it'll be like carnival, but a rugby game. It'll be the sickest thing ever.
It was amazing. Yeah. There was steel pan playing and everything.
Yeah,
it was dancing. Ross,
I feel what you said about representation is a massive thing, because for me, when I started playing, representation was a massive thing to me, because Leon Price and his brother were playing for Bradford at that time, and I've grown up knowing them lot through family and everything, and just seeing someone like me from where I'm from doing it, that made me realise, right, actually, this is something I can do. And I think the more young black kids who, see us play and see us do what we do, hopefully we can inspire them. They might not play rugby like me, they might play football like me, but seeing us play, they might think, you know what, I want to try rugby, and you never know, they could be in our position and they could be playing for Jamaica in years to come, So representation is a massive thing, and that's one of the best things that we're trying to do, while we're playing in England and everywhere, yeah.
So, how has the feedback been from Jamaica? Because you're representing Jamaica. What about the people that live in Jamaica? How are they responding to a team that's largely, English-born players? Have you got support?
I think we're a proud nation, Jamaicans. Anything that has a Jamaican person has anything to do with it, we're gonna back it, and we're gonna sing for it. And I think a massive thing for me, we seen they took the World Cup trophy back to Jamaica, and everybody who plays domestically there, they were looking at it and seeing it, and all the domestic players and everyone over there, you saw the excitement in their eyes, and you saw young kids in primary school seeing this big trophy and inspiring them, and for me, that's why I do it for everyone back there. That's who it's for, really. And I think they're just proud, and I think they know they need the heritage players like ourselves to help us take the game to that next level, because they're still developing. And I think what we do best is we have the culture, and we have we're all integrated, and when we come together, we're all one. There's some heritage nations who don't pay homage to their heritage or culture, and they just play for that country, and they have no ties to it, and it is what it is. But, I think for us, I think we come together well, and everybody back there backs us, and yeah, I think it's how we come together. As you know, it's like the saying, in out of many, one people, and I think that motto runs true for the rugby team, really, massively.
Yeah.
So a question for people that don't understand rugby. Obviously, you've got a team that's based in the UK and a team that's based in Jamaica. How do you get together? Do you ever train together, or do you just happen on the day you just turn up and rock up and just play wherever? How does it work?
Yeah, well, we have camps, really. So whenever we're going away, if we go America or we go somewhere like the England game, we had a week camp. You know, when we go to America, the Jamaica boys were going to come to America with us. Sometimes they've come over to England, or you know, when we all get together, it's we all come together. I think when we qualified, do you remember that first session when we qualified, Faz, how bad it was? Because we just had everyone, you know, they had the English boys, Jamaican boys, everyone knew. When the session was bad, it was terrible, and we all had to sit down and listen. You know, we need to sort it out because we're not going to qualify for nothing if we carry on like this. And, you know, it fixed up. But I think it comes to funding again. With winning the World Cup, I think there was going to be a number of players who went over to Jamaica this year, but obviously COVID stopped all that. And I think it's just a money thing, really, isn't it? Bringing everyone together. But that's what we're trying to do, really, is mould everybody. I think before the World Cup, we'll have a lot of time. We want to get some time, you know, even in Jamaica, everyone together over here, yeah.
So, question: how is the rugby team funded? What do you do?
Yeah.
Do you have to do fundraising? What do you do?
What I was going to say then is, end of the day, rugby league, especially at the moment, and everyone will understand who's in rugby league, it's dying a little bit, and it is a bit scary times for us. And especially if you're funding a team like Jamaica, where there's no real domestic game, it's a growing game. There's no money in it. We rely heavily on sponsorship and self-funded trips. Like a lot of the trips we've been on and we go on, we've funded ourselves, which for us isn't an issue because I'd pay to go play for these boys. You know what I mean? It's not about the money. It's not about the money. I would happily pay, and we have all happily paid to go play for Jamaica. But then you've got other teams who've got the money, they've got the funding. They don't have to worry about people who are working like obviously all of us, apart from I think there's maybe 4 or 5 or 6 of them. We've all got jobs. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of the other teams are all full-time professionals, and there's a massive difference there. But what we bring in aside from that is we bring a lot of heart, and when we play, we punch well above our weight because we are like brothers, and we come together. When we do come together, it is a great thing, and it's unrivaled to whatever team I've ever played for. When us Jamaican boys play together, it's we're just playing with pure emotion, and we always punch above our weight massively. But like you say, the funding is the issue. So we will take on funding from whoever. So if there's any rich Jamaicans out there, shout me.
This is a call out. Listen, because I noticed on your badges, where's the like Grace Foods and why are these guys not sponsoring you lot?
Exactly.
I think that's the disconnect with rugby league in general. You know, I think people don't know what kind of sport it is. I think the women's football team, you know, they had no funding at all, and they weren't even going to make it World Cup until, you know, I think the Marlies stepped in and they funded them. You know, but I think with rugby, I think it's people don't really know the sport. I think now people are starting to generate interest, in businesses are talking to us and asking us. You know, Jason Robinson, who used to play for England Rugby Union, he come in, and for the England Knights game, he put some money in. And I think what's good for us, this World Cup coming, every team gets an equal split of money. You know, before it was like England, Australia, you got the biggest chunk, and the smaller nations got. But I think now everybody gets the same split of money. Everybody gets paid the same. When it men, women, you know, everyone gets paid the same rate. So I think that'll help Jamaica. But yeah, it's just finding businesses and people to sponsor us and help us out. And like you say, I think we've been trying to get, like you say, Grace Foods and people like that. I think even people be asking, you know, a lot of prominent black businesses to try help out. And, you know, I think that's why we got, you know, people like Alex Simmons and Jason Robinson have come on board to try step up that marketing plan, really, and, you know, try help us get that investment we need, really.
Okay, so we need a call out then, don't we? We need some investment for the Jamaican rugby team. You know, for us, we work with a lot of different organisations, and I think this will be good to show them that you local boys Need some support because there's a lot of local people in there, and I feel like as the home of rugby league, we need to do something, don't we?
I feel like with rugby as well, if there is a fund in there, it is like a family, and you got football and stuff where it's like a business. If a company or if a company came in and came on with us, they'd be part of the family. Do you know what I mean? We're like a big family. So if you come on and give us some money, we'll give you our heart. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of where it's at. You look at sports like football and that, where there's no association, there's no connection between the sponsors and the players and stuff like that. Rugby league in general, not just Jamaican rugby league in general is a very close knit sport. And like we say, if we had some black businessmen who don't know a lot about the sport but give in to us, then it'd be great for us and it'd be great for them because they'd be putting into a team with 30 or 25 or 30 really good blokes, really.
Or women, Jordan. Or women.
Yeah, all women, sorry about that. Yeah, my little sister plays rugby as well, so my little sister plays, so shout out Savannah, she plays, so women as well.
She's brave. I don't know how she does it, if I'm honest, because when I was at uni, I had a housemate who played rugby, and she came home one day and her teeth were moving. Nah. No. No. Joel, you seem so quiet there. Are you always so chilled? Because I've seen you play rugby and you ain't chilled.
Joel's a changed man nowadays.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's zen now, you know what I mean?
Back, I'm late.
Calm now.
Can you hear us?
He's not moving.
Yeah, a bit too wild, that was the problem.
Well, fellas, I've got a few questions for you that have been sent in. Okay. First one is, have any of you had to deal with racism while playing, and how did you deal with it? So who's taking that one?
I remember very, 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 very rarely. But I remember I must have been 16, but I just started playing open age for Newsham, and we'd gone over to a team in Barnsley.
Joel?
What's going on there?
Can you not hear me?
What just happened?
I don't know.
Is he getting burgled?
We could hear.
Go on,
somebody.
sorry, Jordan, keep going.
Sorry, yeah. So I remember being 16 and I went over to a team in Barnsley called Dodder. Well, I'm not going to say the names. I went over to play a team in Barnsley, and like it must have been. It was like a bit like the estate of Shameless where we pulled up. I don't know if you remember the show Shameless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So everyone come out and that this Saturday afternoon, their Saturday afternoons were just to watch this team, and we pulled up and we were playing for Newsham, and we had a very, very multicultural team, and they were just monkey chants and monkey noises, and I never even realised it because it was probably my first ever time really realising it. But yeah, that's probably the one and only time. Apart from, I didn't really like obviously my boys here will back me up, like over Twitter over lockdown when Black Lives Matter were going mad on Twitter and stuff. I seen some stuff that people I used to play with were posting and stuff, and like stuff that I didn't agree with personally, and it wasn't affecting me. But I just thought I didn't realise how racial people were. I didn't realise that the colour of people's skins bothered people that much until all this Black Lives Matter happened.
Yes.
So I saw everything on Twitter, and it making me genuinely hurting my heart a little bit. I felt very like emotional about it because I thought, why does it matter? And I thought, why is people bothered? Why are people mourning that black people are getting treated the same? I couldn't fathom it. And people who were disagreeing with it, who've never really been through anything. But yeah, but apart from that, racism, I'm lucky enough to have not had too much.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, in rugby league, like there's been incidents, but not ever that we've been aware of. You know, the one time at Bradford, like a fan doing fan vlogs and videos, and you know, on that video was caught another fan, you know, racially abusing one of the players. But obviously there was that many people there, we don't really hear it. The only times I've experienced it within sport has been when I played football, really, as a young kid. And, you know, that's when, you know, like I said, I got back, like, you know, I was just straight swinging. If I ever heard anything, then like, you know, yeah, that's how I've always dealt with it, you know. And I think that stems from, you know, I used to every Saturday night I used to go and watch my dad and my uncle Floyd. He lives in the Sun now, you might know him, but you know, them two, him and my dad had a reputation, you know. They love the scrap really, and a few times I see someone say like a few racist comments or something about football, and I see them man start throwing thumbs left, right, and centre. And, you know, I think I just learned from that, and whenever I play football, that's only my reaction. But yeah, in rugby league, you know, I think rugby league there is issues there, but they're not as prevalent whether it is in football and other sports. You know, rugby league has always been historically a more accepting sport of you know, black players, especially, you know, even way back when Wales wouldn't let black players play for Wales. You know, they came and played rugby league, and they come played for clubs, you know, like Wigan and Halifax and stuff like that. But you know, there is issues there like everywhere in society. I think there was another issue when we played at Bradford, you know, with some fans from Featherstone and stuff. But you know, they're in small minorities. But yeah, playing rugby, it's not been much of an issue. It's more when I played football and stuff like that. And you know, for me, racism it's something, you know, I hold close to my heart, because I've had many issues over my time, and it's been away from sport. You know, whether it be, you know, I've had times I've been, you know, racially abused, whether it by people in authority, you know, whether it be, you know, police and things like that over my years and my time. And, you know, it's a tough thing to deal with, you know, and then to try work with. And yeah, it's been one of them things, you know, with the whole Black Lives Matter movement and stuff like that, and it started a conversation that needed to be had. But I think it highlighted how much, you know, people feel triggered by black people saying racism isn't on. You know, by us saying, you know, like if you look at Super League now, the amount of complaints people have been having for, you know, Super League and Rugby League trying to say take a stand against racism. They're saying, oh, this don't belong in sport. It's not political. When has racism been political? You know, it's not a political stance. It's a human stance, you know what I mean? And I think just this whole highlighting of racism and saying we need to tackle it, you know, people are feeling triggered by it. And I think it's opened some of these conversations, really. Conversations that need to be had. And it's held the mirror up to a lot of people, and they've realised, you know, the behaviours and the mindsets have been wrong. And, you know, I think now times are changing. And with young people, I think, you know, this is where the tide will change, really.
Joel.
Okay.
Sorry, I missed the question, mate. I had a bit of connection issues.
The question was, can you hear Joel?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Have you ever had to deal with racism? And if so, how did you deal with it?
Yeah, growing up playing rugby, we've had to deal with it a few times. When we played amateur, there was about 5 or 6 of us that were all mixed race, and going away to certain places, you knew it was how them people think. So yeah, it's happened a few times. Ended up in fights most of the time, I'm not going to lie. It's all when it's rugby based, it's always ended up in throwing punches, because that's just that's how I deal with stuff usually on a rugby field. So but yeah, it's I think people say it comes out of people's mouths sometimes. They don't ever think about what they're actually saying. It just comes out. They go for the easiest attack on you. And people say words don't really hurt, but it's the maddest thing. It's the thing that hurts you the most when they say, when things that said, I'll get taken, get hit off the ball, all that stuff. But I don't think they think about when they're actually saying these things, how much it actually stings you, and it stings you for a while as well. It's not just in that moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have got a couple of comments.
There's been, in like Jordan said, with the Black Lives Matter stuff and that, there's been some players for some clubs who said some things on social media, and every black player is aware of it, and we've taken note of it in our mind. And I think, you know, when they're matching to play again, a couple of men are going to be catching a few, you know what I mean, and thinking, wow, what was that for?
There's going to be some madness when we go back.
Yeah, there'll be a few dog shots going around, to tell you that.
So we've got a couple of people who's left some comments on the live. I don't know what this one is, but it says head, shoulders, knees and toes. Does that mean something to someone? By Danny Thomas.
There's only one. Yeah. There's only one person that comes up with that.
And then we've also got another one from Mr. Controversial himself, and he says the mandem. And this is Matty Simpson.
No, do you know what it is? Yeah. Matt, there's no such thing as bad publicity. I heard something like that.
He left another one. He was
Is that my
said,
man?
"Good to see."
Yeah.
What?
Jordan, this one's for you. Does Jordan need some milk?
Yes, John, big man.
Oh, and then someone else has left a trophy saying yes, Ross.
Yeah, Pat is
So, yeah.
Huddersfield, man. He does a lot for Huddersfield. He's a good guy, Pat, man.
So
So,
I had another question that I
go on.
wanted to ask because
Go
I
on.
know it's from a female, this question. And they've asked, what do you eat and do to look so thick, strong?
Jordan, that's for you.
Really? You know what? I've been training hard recently, actually. I've been trying to eat good, so
You can tell.
my diet from kebabs. I've been trying to eat a little bit better because rugby's going to be coming around quicker than I expect. So I've still got some pounds to lose. But to be fair, what do I eat? I just eat anything. That's the issue. I'm too heavy at the moment.
So wait, are you a pro? Because you're
I'm a
like,
prop, yeah.
you are. Yeah, you see?
I'm a
You've
prop.
got to eat.
I'm a prop.
You take some licks, guy.
Yeah, of course I do, but you won't think it with pretty face.
No, you know what? You wouldn't because you want to smash up your nose. No, you know if you're still sweet, it's not bad.
Nose is sweet, teeth are sweet, don't what?
You don't play a lot.
No.
That's a problem.
Wait, look at Faz. Faz is the age.
Yeah, I'm beat up, mate. I'm pretty beat up.
Are you a wing?
No.
What do you play? What's your position?
Second row.
I can't tell, you know. You just look skinny on the picture. So I'm just like, and you're there. So Ross, what do you play?
I'm a prop as well myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Probably the best looking front row in rugby league, really.
I've no comment. Your
Yeah.
And
partner's
I'm
a
a trim here, people, right now.
You can have a trim, you know. You can get a
Yeah.
trim.
I know I need
I got
one.
a cousin, he does
Ross too lazy to go for a
if
trim.
you want. So I want to know, so Joel, we know that you've changed during COVID and you're zen now and you're into different things. What I want to know is what's changed for you two? Has anything changed since COVID for you, Ross and Jordan?
For me, you know, it's not much change really, apart from not being able to play rugby really, not go training and stuff. It's just been locked down, everything. Been stuck at home with a 2-year-old, just driving me crazy, really.
Yeah.
I can't be said like.
So no training? Nothing
No,
at all?
no
No
training,
training, no
really.
kind of fitness?
No, well, what I've
just
been doing
just
now
on your own
is,
stuff.
I've been boxing more now and playing football because, you know, I think myself, I can't like train by myself. I can't go on a run. I don't like all that. So, you know, I've been boxing and just playing football, trying to do different sports, playing a lot of basketball as well. But there would have been a group of man in Bradford, you know, and there've been like little games between Huddersfield, man, and Bradford, man, at basketball and stuff like that. So everyone from every end playing basketball against each other. But yeah, I've just been trying to do what I can. But yeah, just stuck at home with the kids, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel your pain.
I think for me, I had 6 months off work, so
Oh, wow.
I work in a school, so I go from full-time work. My missus had just gone back after maternity, so I literally became a full-time dad for like 6 months. So that was hard, man. I wanted to go back to work. I was just like, my missus was like, oh, you'll cherish this time. And I'm like, I'm cherish the time when you get bought for the door home because this is hard work. So respect to every single parent there, but I felt like a single parent. I was like, I didn't know what to do. I would go to my mum's a lot. But it was hard for me because I'm a very social person. So to go from like doing whatever I want with rugby, like you got to think with rugby 3-4 times a week, you're with 30 of your mates or 25 of your mates. So to go from that to nothing, it's really hard. But again, with a newborn baby, it keeps you busy enough. I'm glad. Look at like, obviously some people who live on their own have really struggled with it, and I've had some friends and friends of friends who've really struggled. And then obviously I've heard a lot of people obviously struggling and taking their own lives as well through lockdown, and so like seeing what Faz is doing and stuff like that. And I've been trying to be a lot more positive and doing my training with people and spreading positive vibes out. I'm hoping, like, sort of obviously the stuff that Faz does, I'm sure there's people there who it's genuinely helping, and obviously with the time and what's going on, if anyone is struggling or anything like that, then just speak to somebody, because I think COVID's biggest killer at the moment is people's mental health, and I think that's suffering more than physical health. So keep strong and just talk to people.
So, Joel, can you remind us again of your Instagram page, please, and what it covers again?
Yeah, it's at wildminds.uk. Through COVID, I was just getting stuffed in the house, couldn't do anything. I was getting stressed out myself, so I thought, I've always been interested in photography, so I've just went out with my camera and started taking pictures and stuff. Then everyone's like, oh, can I come here? Can I come here? Then we found some waterfalls. We've been jumping in waterfalls while it was a bit warmer. My friend at work said he's never ever climbed a mountain in his life. He don't think he'd be able to do it. So I dragged him to Wales and climbed in, dragged him up that mountain with me. Yeah, it's just getting people outside, and we're doing Movember as well. All the links in the bio on the page. So yeah, we're raising money for that, for men's health, men's mental health, and the cancer side stuff of it. So we're just trying to make something out of people out of this bad situation.
That's fantastic.
Okay, well, we'll share that link with everyone on here. I think it's great you're doing that. So needed. So needed. So, Serena, have you got any more questions on here? If not,
I've just got one more. Why have you got one?
No, go on.
Okay, if you could change one thing in the world, what would it be? If you had the power to change something right now, what would it be?
I'd clear the ocean of plastic. I'm serious.
Yeah. Do you know how nice that is to hear that? Because what we find is we don't find enough black people who actually care about the environment. We never hear it enough. And people think I'm crazy.
My cousin in Jamaica, she's a conservationist, so shout out to her, Treya.
Okay.
She's always alligators and that.
It's needed. It's needed. We won't have a world soon if we don't start sorting it out.
Yeah.
What's your twos?
Next? I don't know.
If I could change one thing, I'd probably change capitalism. You know, too many people at the top are getting too fat and now with the money and everything, and you know everybody's struggling. You know, the money needs to be. There's enough money in this world for everybody, man. And you know, you see places and people suffering, and it don't have to be like this. So yeah.
I was just going to say change price on McDonald's, but I have to say something.
Can't say that now.
No, do you know what I'd change? Oh, God. What would I change? It's an hard one. Obviously, at the moment, I work in a school, so the free school meals and stuff is really close to home, because I suppose before working in the school, I didn't realise how much people needed them free school meals.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that. And I know people are blaming MPs and people are blaming this, that, and the other. And it's not the MP's fault. It's everyone, and it's us as a system that's wrong.
Yeah.
And like Ross says, you see some people like Jeff Bezos made like £40 billion over lockdown. Like Amazon made £40 billion, where there's people who've lost their jobs and ended up losing their life because they've killed themselves. So what I'd change is people's mental health, and I'm hoping that we can all change and create a place where you can talk to people and not feel belittled for sharing your problems. So that's what I'd like to change. I'd like to have an environment a culture where if you're struggling with, for whatever reason, no matter how big or small it is, talk to your friends, talk to your family, talk to anyone, and don't let it turn your mind and eat away at your head, because life's too precious for that to happen.
Oh, you see, that's lovely. I'm surprised, because I didn't know what you were going to come with. That's lovely. I don't have any more questions now, Serena. Do you? Let me just check on here.
I want to know, because a lot of young people that are going right now, the future is looking a bit bleak for many because of everything in the world of what words of wisdom and advice do you give people who want to achieve more for their life? You know, if you was to talk to your young self right now, what would you say?
I think what I'd say, and I think is the best advice, you know, what my dad's ever given me, and I think he lives by that. You know, it's just do what makes you happy. Don't try to do anything like if people's like your parents saying they want you to do this, but you don't want to do that, or you know society is telling you to do one thing or be like this. Just do whatever makes you happy. If you follow whatever makes you happy, you know, follow your passions and what you want to do, you won't go wrong. You know, you might not end up making all this money and being able to flash and this and that, but that don't mean nothing. You know, when you're not happy. So, you know, when you do what makes you happy and you know follow what you want to do, you know, then you can't go wrong with it. That's what I must say.
Thank you.
I think for me, like I didn't like for a rugby side of things and for a sporting kind of thing. I was never really good at rugby growing up. I got better when I got older and I grew up and that's when I kind of got better. So if you're not getting into your scholarships, so like Ross and Farrell, they've been at scholarships since they were kids because they've been always been good. Whereas I luckily grew up and got big, and rugby's a sport where if you don't give up and you just keep going and keep plugging away, you can get a chance. But I think in life as well, I think again, obviously working in a school and having a younger sister and stuff, people put so much pressure on kids to like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do when you're old? What do you want to do? Yeah. I was in the Royal Air Force from 17 to 28. When I leave, I was 25, I think, 3 years ago I left. And I loved it. Wow. I loved every minute of it. And then I went to play pro rugby, and then I didn't get another contract. And then I went back to the RAF, and it really affected me living at home and then going back into the military and living that military life. And I wanted to leave so bad, and to tell my parents and stuff I wanted to leave were really hard because obviously they were so proud of me for being there. But I needed to leave, and I've left now, and I went into engineering, and I've gone for a job now that doesn't pay as well, but what I'm getting from that job is miles better than money. Like, I love it. I love helping. I love working with kids, and I'm really enjoying myself. So, like I say, you don't need to rush into knowing what you've got to do, because I'm nearly 29, and don't mean I'm going to be in this school forever. Like, you don't need to be in the same job forever. You don't need to. My dad is a very career-focused person. Have that job, do it very good. And a lot of the old-fashioned men are like that. Whereas I don't think it is. If I'm not enjoying something, I'm not going to carry on doing it. If I'll move on, I'll find something else. There's always another job out there. Maybe not at the moment. There is a bit of a struggle, but for me, staying in the same job for 30 years, if it's okay, that's not what I want to do. I want to find a job that I love, and luckily working at school, I'm really enjoying it. But that doesn't mean in the future I won't fall out of love with it. I'm not going to just sit here and just go through life and just making money for someone else and just pretending I'm enjoying it. So just listen, just do what you've got. Like you say, do what makes you happy. If you're not happy with doing something, you can change it.
Wow. I love the positive.
I think if I were going to tell my younger self anything, just be slow down.
I love that.
Just slow down, man. Life's fast, and it's going to come at you fast. You just slow down, take a step back,
Joel,
and think about stuff. If it's out of your control, then you have to let it go. But just try and control as much of your life as you can.
Joel has changed so much, man.
Wow.
He used to be the angriest man in the world.
It's good.
It's all growth.
6 months ago.
So what's next for the Jamaica Rugby Team? What is next? What's on the cards?
Yeah, but you sound like you've all changed.
Pardon?
Yes.
Yeah, hopefully the World Cup, if it don't get cancelled next year. So looking forward to that. But
hopefully
yeah, fingers crossed.
I want there to be fans there.
That's what I mean.
I'd be devastated if there's no fans. I'd be devastated because I'd rather wait another year and have the World Cup with fans. Me 100%, because we're there for the fans and we're there for the experience.
Yeah. Oh, right. Well, I don't have any more questions for you, Serena.
No, but do you know what I do want to say is that it'd be great if we can work with you guys and try and do some fundraising as well for you.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah, it's good.
fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Jordan, you said you work with young people. What do you do?
So I work at Corn Valley High School. I'm what they call a personal development coordinator up there. So I'm assigned to a year group and just about basically helping that year group and helping the pupils and being there for the families and stuff who are struggling as well. So that's my job.
That's fantastic.
That's fantastic. And you know what? I think you'll be a really, really good role model there.
Yeah, hopefully that's why I'm there, because
Corn
Valley as well. It's a good school for Corn Valley as well, because again it's a bit like King James in the respect of it. It's not a very ethnic diverse pupil base, but our staff base is very diverse, which is really good. And we have a young staff, and well, obviously all ages, all colours, all creeds, all sexes. So I think our staff is more diverse than the kids, but I think that's really good for a place like Corn Valley. So yeah, that's what I do.
Thank you so much, guys.
Okay.
It's been great speaking to you. I've enjoyed it. It's just made me really reflect on, you know, there's so many people out there in our community doing amazing things. And we need to talk more. We need to come together. We need to collaborate and make a change, you know, because it's about us. It's about the next generation. And I'm looking forward. If we can support you in any way possible, I think we need to be doing that and seeing how we can get involved as well in the Rugby World Cup, and you know, and bring young people. We want to bring young people to the matches.
Because we want to help you guys as well. If you want to do any coaching and stuff and stuff like that with kids, then we'll love to do that as well.
That'd be
Oh, we're gonna call you.
Yeah.
There's so many ideas already. But no, we've got a few projects which I think would be fantastic to have you guys involved. But for us, in regards to, we do a lot of social action. So to get these young people involved and raising some funds for the Jamaican Rugby Team and understanding that they come from a town that is the home of rugby league. So how do we get them involved? I think it's a fantastic project.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
watch this space.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you all.
Okay.
And thank you all, and for all those that have been watching this evening. And you know what? I'm a bit upset, Sophie, because I think this is the end of our In Conversations during Black History Month. But I know that we've liked it so much, we're gonna try and do more of this because it's important to highlight key people, key role models in our community. So we will continue with this. But yeah, it's sad that it's our last one. And we had to end it with going back to our own roots, we are both of Jamaican heritage. And we wish you all the very best and the luck next year. And we will be there supporting you and cheering you on. We will be there.
We'll keep an eye out for you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, man.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks.
Cheers.